drive the 13 Mitigator Ford Fusion. I'd like to thank you for listening to Let's Talk Racing.tv.
Jr., driver of the number 5 Kiker Motorsports Camry. Welcome to Let's Talk Racing TV.
With Rockingham Speedway. Thanks for listening to Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camp World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'd like to welcome everybody to Let's Talk Racing tonight. We have Albert Pearce and Brenden Queen on the show with us, as well as myself, Roger Brehm. Let's go ahead and get it started. So Al, what's the latest thing? I heard we've got Travis Quaffle in trouble now.
Yeah, Travis Quaffle, a backpack, mid-pack cup driver, was arrested last night and jailed briefly for assaulting his wife, apparently, in something called false imprisonment, which I presume is he locked her in a closet.
Closet, basement?
Or locked her in a house and wouldn't let her out.
Yeah.
She tried to get out and he wouldn't let her out. So, police in Mooresville, North Carolina, went to the house last night and took him away. And since there was no court last night, they locked him up overnight. He went to court this morning. They let him out, I think, around noontime or so. And, of course, nothing from the team. They haven't made a statement yet. NASCAR will not make a statement, I'm sure, until the team makes a disposition of it, but you can be sure they're not happy.
What do you anticipate is going to happen?
Well, if the team's got any gumption at all, they'll just take him out of the car for the weekend, sit him out maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks. I mean, if the initial reports are true and what we hear actually happened is what happened.
Yeah.
We hadn't heard his side of the story yet. But generally in a domestic he said, she said, not that I've been involved in any, thank God, but generally the female or the wife or girlfriend who was beaten up generally is believed initially until something comes along to show them otherwise. So I would think the BK team probably should sit him down for a weekend and let him come back at Talladega next week. Trevor Bain's not racing this weekend. Wood Brothers are not entered at Charlotte, which is somewhat of a surprise.
Yeah.
So Trevor Bain's available. He's a Ford driver. That's a Ford team. You don't know.
Yeah. Now, if I remember, doesn't he have domestic violence awareness on the car as well?
I think all those BK teams do this month, which is kind of ironic, I guess.
Yeah. That's what I was aiming for.
Yeah. But, really, if you're looking for somebody to drive that car, I mean, Trevor Bain is probably as squeaky clean as anybody. He's absolutely probably as straight up and decent as anybody out there. So they could not do much better than getting Trevor Bain, if indeed the ride's available.
Yeah.
And we may not know that. And they qualify tomorrow night. They practice and qualify at Charlotte tomorrow.
We'll probably hear something tomorrow.
And I'm leaving tomorrow morning early to go down there, so we'll hear something. But I would say that no better than he's been running, and no better than that organization is. He may be on somebody's short list right now. Or short list to be gone.
Yeah. And who else? Who else we had? Somebody else in the news? Was it in the Hendricks Motorsports team? Somebody?
I don't know the kid's name, but one of the engine tuners got busted for drugs. He's an engine tuner. He used to work with Gordon and used to work with Mark Martin, I think, but he's now over at JR Motorsports, the junior part of Hendrick. And he was busted, and not only was he suspended by NASCAR, but he was also fired, which is what they do.
Yeah.
Some teams don't, some teams do. Hendrick fires their guys for going off on the wrong tangent. So he's gone. And that's all the court news there is right now.
Well, Brian France finally,
Well,
his thing with Megan France finally came to an end.
But see, he's married her twice, divorced her twice. I mean,
Third time's the charm, maybe?
no, I don't think so. I think he's remarried already. This is his. I think he said 3 weddings and two wives and 3 weddings. I think that's the way it goes.
Hey, you got enough money to afford it, I reckon.
Well, yeah, but that's part of why he was in the news to begin with, is he wasn't, according to her, he wasn't paying his alimony, he wasn't paying his child support, the millions and millions that he promised to pay. So,
And let's see, Nick Harrison finally left Phoenix Racing.
yeah,
this past-
Jimmy Elledge is coming back to be the crew chief on the 51 car for a while. He, I believe, at one time was Kelly Earnhardt's husband, which made him Junior's brother-in-law,
Uh-huh.
or something like that, or stepfather. Yeah, brother-in-law. I don't know. I get all those people mixed up. So that's a new team with a new crew chief. You kind of wonder whether Harrison is getting ready to be somebody's crew chief on another team, and they're giving him 4 or 5 weeks to kind of get acclimated to the new deal. Charlotte entry list has only got 43 cars,
So everybody's going to make it.
so qualifying doesn't mean a thing tomorrow night. They get all excited about it, and it doesn't prove anything. I remember when qualifying at Charlotte used to be a big deal. They paid big money back in the old days
Yeah.
for qualifying. And Pearson and Wood Brothers always won it. But now qualifying doesn't mean anything. Just gives you a place to start. And as Kurt Busch showed last weekend, starting last doesn't hurt you a whole lot
Yeah. I mean, just
at a lot of places.
now, what'd you think about all the wrecks they had during the weekend at Kansas?
Well, of course, all the drivers blame it on the racetrack. They don't like the repave. They don't like this. They don't like that. You know, I guess some of them probably correctly said it's a combination of the repave, the cold weather, and the tires. Those 3 things together caused them. They never point fingers at each other. They never say, well, you know, maybe I screwed up. Or maybe I wrecked myself. You know, they don't ever do that. It's always somebody else.
Well, Nationwide and Cup both had record number of cautions, if I remember correctly.
Again, the weather was so dramatically different on Sunday
Yeah.
than it had been. And the tires they had run the tires previously at, I don't remember where, Michigan maybe. So they weren't used to the tires. They weren't used to the weather.
Hang on a second, Chase.
They didn't like the track. Everybody complained about the track. But it could have just been them. Some of those wrecks certainly were their own fault. I don't know if maybe somebody got into Danica and bumped her. I think Carl Edwards bumped Kyle Busch. The 51 car last Sunday, 51 car was, I can't remember who, but he got into Ryan Newman. So you can't blame Newman for that. So these things happen.
Okay, let me put you on hold and we'll get you and Chase on at the same time here.
See, we get these interruptions every now and then. He's talking to his bookie or his
Yeah,
his
right.
drug dealer or somebody.
My what dealer?
Your drug dealer calls in every night.
Oh, that's what my doctor's for. He gives me all the good drugs.
Oh, okay.
But we already have our first two guests already lined up already.
Okay.
If you're ready and want to
Okay.
do that.
We got two drivers making their Cup debut at Charlotte. You got Kyle Larson.
Right.
Everybody says he's the next great big thing. Although, that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid who's only run. He hadn't run any. He's run less than a full season in a stock car.
Yeah.
But he's replacing Montoya, so I guess they're making him a big deal.
Yeah.
And Brian Scott will make his Cup debut. Larson driving for Ganassi, Earnhardt, Sabatis, and Scott driving for Richard Childress. And I suspect that down the road, they will be two of the so-called young guns that are around this stuff a long time. They'll probably hang in there for quite a while. Right now, you got Jeff Burton says he's got a ride for next year, but doesn't want to announce it. Mark Martin doesn't know what he's doing next year. Bobby Labonte doesn't know what he's doing next year. Martin Truex doesn't know what he's doing next year. Travis Quaffle may be out of a ride.
There may be an opening there now.
Wood Brothers aren't sure what they're going to do next year, so there may be a whole new turnover of not complete new talent, but you may see a whole crop of new kids next year, and make the Rookie of the Year battle finally mean something.
Yeah.
Because in recent years it hadn't meant a thing.
Be like one or two drivers, and that would be
Well, I mean, 3 years ago it was Kevin Conway. He had no competition.
Yeah.
The year after him was the road racing guy that drove for.
Boris said?
No.
Who?
Andy Lally.
Lally.
Yeah, Andy. Okay.
And then last year it was. Who was last year's Rookie of the Year? There had to have been one, but I don't know who it was.
I thought it was Lally last year. I don't know.
This year it'll be Stenhouse. So, we could use probably 2 or 3 rookies to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Because they haven't had any in a long
Ricky
time.
and Danica were the only two competing?
Please.
I knew you'd love that part.
Please.
You ready for our first two guests?
I guess.
All right. Let me see if I can.
Why don't you sit and talk to him also?
I can talk to him from over here. All right.
We got 2 at one time?
Yes. Yeah, I figured you could handle it. Chase, you there?
I'm here.
And Valerie is there too. Okay, cool. How y'all doing tonight?
You doing well, yourself?
Pretty good. Tell us what you got going on, Chase.
Well, we're getting ready. We're going to try Martinsville in our truck deal and, get some stuff ready for next year. I took on a new investor for next year and the team, and so we're trying to get everything ready.
So you're going to be driving the No Fear truck.
Yeah, them, and then, like I said, I got a new partner that's come on board.
Well, who is it?
His name's A.G. Swanner. He's out of Little Washington here where I'm from, and he's got a couple of businesses.
Sounds good. Now, I noticed you had Valerie calling in. Tell us a little bit about Valerie.
Valerie Jarman, she is a longtime friend and friend of the family, and she's with a company called Cummins Plastic, and her brother unfortunately had an accident about a year ago where he was burned severely, and unfortunately is accrued a lot of costs and for medical bills and stuff. So we're trying to put together a benefit to try to help him out, and we're going to put him on the truck at Martinsville and the rest of the year, and have an 800 number where basically fans can call in and make a donation and try to help out the family and overcome about $400,000 in medical bills.
That sounds really nice of you. How's that working for you, Valerie?
I'm excited about it. I'm very grateful for Chase offering to help. I'm sure it's going to come in handy. It's going to be a really good thing for my brother and his family.
Does one of y'all got the show running in the background or something?
I do not.
Okay, I've got it. It was me.
Oh, okay. We kept hearing some echoing back here, so.
Well, why don't y'all tell us, where are you right now located physically? What are your? I mean, I don't even know. I'm not sure where they are. Are they here locally or Roger?
Chase, go ahead and give a quick rundown on your racing resume.
Yeah, tell us what you are and who you are, and give us an idea about exactly what this program's all about.
Well, right now I'm out of Washington, North Carolina. I was born and raised here. We're putting together a small truck program. Definitely, a lot smaller budget than the other teams. But we're trying to do, kind of a grassroots deal where we're kind of giving back to the community, where I finally got the opportunity, done some market stuff and had some stuff planned for earlier this year that just kind of fell through. And then just recently took on a new partner with the team and, in an effort trying to give back, we're working with Valerie and trying to raise some money for her brother and, just help out with the medical bills. And we're hopefully going to try to at least qualify for the last 3 races, starting with Martinsville. And then with the new partner, we're certainly going to try to shoot for a full schedule next year. I don't know how realistic that is, but, we're going to at least, give it the old college effort, and try to do it. And if not, do as many as we can. But our main goal is just working with some new sponsors and trying to get some things going and to raise some money for Michael Jarman and, to help his family out.
Okay. Valerie, why don't you tell us a little bit about what happened to your brother, when, give our listeners and viewers some detail on exactly what happened and how we can help out.
His name is Michael Jarman. He was doing some outside work in his yard the first part of July 2nd actually, and he was burned. He was putting gas in a weed eater, and sad to say, his weed eater caught on fire, and he burned both of his arms and the top part of his body severely bad. And he spent 3 weeks in the Chapel Hill Burn Center. He had grafts on both arms, and it has pretty much, he's healing really well. We're very grateful for that, but he will be out of work for another year. So, like Chase was saying earlier, his medical bills have already been in excess of $400,000 with no medical insurance. So we've been doing a benefit here in my local hometown of Richland, and trying to just raise money to help with medical bills and just everyday living arrangements. He has 2 small children, so we're just trying to raise some money for him because, like I said, he will be out of work for another year. And Chase was very generous in trying to help in any way that he could. And like I said, we're very grateful for the help that he's offering and anything anybody could do.
Okay. And Chase, you're gonna kick this off at Martinsville in a couple of weeks. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the goal. And I also want to mention, and we're going to be carrying you guys, Let's Talk Racing TV, on our truck, and also Jack Dyson's NASCAR news page, and kind of our way of saying thanks for helping spread the word. And hopefully we'll have you on the rest of the season. And if we get lucky and make the races, if not, we're going to go have a good time and let's say give it a try. And, but the whole thing is paying it forward and trying to help out those a little bit less fortunate. Trying to give back to those that have been with you through thick and thin.
Is it possible? I know in Cup it's not possible. In Nationwide it may not be possible. Is it possible in the Truck Series to be a small independent team based away from Charlotte? I mean, you're trying to do something that looks on the surface to be awfully difficult.
Well, it is, and you kind of have to, keep your ducks in a row and your realistic goals in mind. We know that we're not going to go out there and set the world on fire and win races and stuff like that. It'd be nice to, we're certainly going to give it an effort, but realistically, to us, we make the show and we can have middle of the pack or a little bit better type showing initially. I'm happy. Our goal is to get in the race, look respectable, and pick up small funding and kind of go from there. Like I said, I picked up a new partner, and his name is A.G. Swanner. He owns several businesses. One is called The Rebel that we're going to be promoting, and he's bringing us a pretty good amount of backing. Right now we're based in Little Washington. We're kind of the the big fish in a small pond here versus a minnow in the shark tank in the Charlotte area. But certainly our goal is, as we grow, is we know that we're gonna have to move the Mooresville area, and to get the right kind of help. Right now we're kind of working within our budget, but realistically, just to look respectable and try to gain some exposure and some experience, and and make some friends along the way.
Well, if you can move to Morristown, Travis Quaffle's home may be available, so you may be able to get a nice piece of property up there from that deal. I'm from Rocky Mount originally, so I know the area you're coming from. I know Greenville very well, and Witcher's Beach and Washington, Little Washington. When you said that earlier, I immediately perked up because that's what I grew up knowing about, Little Washington. So you're not that far from Charlotte, but then again, you're not really in the middle of everything either. So it's gonna probably be a slog for a while to get it going. But I've told lots of people on this program, it only takes one person to see you. It only takes one person to be impressed by your team and by what you're trying to do, and you never know, you might get a phone call on Monday morning from somebody that saw you at Martinsville or Phoenix or Homestead and said, "Hey, what can I do to help out?" And you never know, you might be rolling after that moment. So just gotta give your best effort and look as positive as you can all the time and hope that one person's there.
And that's certainly true. And we're already getting phone calls from people within the sport, offering to help out. And I've got some people that are now officials that are about to kind of retire from that are wanting to get involved and help out. I've got Jack kind of put me in contact with a very former large name crew chief that we're talking to, maybe bring him on board. And if you can get somebody good like that, then you're able to kind of train some of the other people that without really breaking the bank, so to speak, that you would have to in Mooresville. And with us, we're having to cross train every position and kind of multitask everything we do. And but if we can go out and have fun and do it on a smaller budget, that's our goal. Nobody said I could get no fear. Being a little small independent guy. But we went out and got them, and hopefully sponsors attract sponsors and good showings, and the guys that have done it in the past, it's just like you said, all it takes is that one lucky break.
Now, Roger's always yelling at me because at some point during every program I talk about food, and the reason I'm going to talk about food is being from Rocky Mount. People where I live now up in Virginia, they don't know good barbecue when they see it.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm sure that the Rocky Mount, Greenville, Wilson, Goldsboro, Kinston, Little Washington, New Bern area has got the kind of barbecue that I think they should bring up here to Virginia. But I can't convince anybody to do it, so...
Hey, we can bring you some. We got Wilbers and Goldsboro and High Heaven in Washington, and you got Bill Ellis in Wilson.
And you got Gardner's over in Greenville.
That's right.
Greenville's not bad. Again, born and reared in Rocky Mount. There used to be a place in Rocky Mount called Bob Melton's.
Right.
And it was right on the Tar River. I mean, it was so much on the river that it got washed away in Hurricane Floyd. So that's how close it was. And I used to joke with people in Greenville that the barbecue that Bob Melton's threw out at night floated down the river, and you people in Greenville scooped it up and served it the next day. So,
You're gonna have that with the seafood.
Yes, there you go. There you
type
go.
of seafood.
But anyway, well, I hope for both of your sake that your efforts come to fruition. I'm sure Valerie will agree that any money is money they didn't have before. So, just be thankful for what you get, and be on the lookout for that one person who likes what you're doing and likes your attitude and likes the way you're doing things. You never know. You just never know.
Well, that's right, and we're going to put up 10,000, from our business and everything, kind of a challenge, to get other people. And I keep telling everybody, every penny counts, and pennies turn into nickels, and nickels turn into quarters, and quarters turn into dollars. And at the end of the day, it all adds up, and it helps in a huge way. And all it takes is just a little bit
Now, how many truck starts have you made? I mean, you've raced enough to be known.
Yeah, I've done a lot of, local and regional stuff over the years, nationally, but, we can go hit the bigger races and stuff like that. Back when the Truck Series first started, of course, you didn't have enough trucks to make the field. We hit a couple of those and did some market stuff, back in the 90s and early, 2000s and stuff. But then I got out of racing for a while and concentrated on the business side and got the itch to get back in. And we were going to try to do some truck and market stuff earlier this year, and it kind of fell through. And but we didn't give up. We kept, persevering, and luckily had somebody step up and, help us out, Mr. Swanner, and so now it's looking up. We got our heads up, and, all we can do is move forward.
Okay.
Valerie, where is a link for listeners to donate?
Actually, I have a Facebook page that has, there's actually a Facebook page called the Michael Jarman Barbecue Benefit, and that's the way we've been advertising most of it, because it seems as if everybody's on Facebook these days. I do have a number to, we have a local bank who has gotten involved that has opened up an account for him. Like I said, we have been trying to raise money through a local barbecue benefit that's going to actually take place this Friday. So I do have a phone number and an address. I don't have an actual link that people can go online and donate to. We've just been mostly sending people that have had donations to the local PNC bank branch that we have here in Richland. So I can provide that address and that phone number if you'd like.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's TV. People will be able to listen and see.
It's the PNC Bank in Richland. You can make the check payable to Michael Jarman Barbecue Benefit. The address is P.O. Box 188. That's in Richland, North Carolina 28574. And if anybody has any questions as to if they forget the address or whatever, her name is Lorena Parker, and the number is 910-324-7600.
Cool. Hey, Chase, just just to let you know, if you're going to be bringing barbecue, bring plenty. Al's going to be out there at the track. And
was you in Martinsville?
Martinsville.
No, I'll be hot dog time.
Oh well, you can have barbecue too.
I'm going through Rocky Mount tomorrow to go to Charlotte, so I'll get my barbecue fixed tomorrow.
Well, some of us here are going to be out there anyway at Martinsville. Me and Crystal.
I'm going to be up in Great Bridge early next week, and I'll be glad to swing you guys by some, and enough to stay for free for a little while, but. We're definitely going to take some to Martinsville with us and have our merchandise trailer up there, and Roger knows what it's like. But we'll have some barbecue with us. Come by and have lunch, and then go get you hot dogs later in the afternoon.
Yeah, I like this idea even better. Sounds better all the time. But I am going to Rocky Mount tomorrow on the way to Charlotte, so.
All you need now is some burgers from In-N-Out. You'll be satisfied.
In-N-Out burgers coming, baby. Phoenix is not far off.
Well, if you're going to Rocky Mount, you might as well go to Wilson and go by Bill Ellis.
Yeah, usually I go to Rocky Mountain and take 64 east through Raleigh, Durham, and then pick up 81 or 85. If you were born and reared in Rocky Mount, you don't go to Wilson unless you have to. You just don't do it. There's a line down there. The Atlantic Coastline Railroad, it was the dividing point between Wilson County and Nash County. And unless you were absolutely in a life or death situation, you just didn't go to Wilson. I'm sorry, just the way it is.
Well, my friend, you better hit a Smithfield's on the way then.
The Smithfield's okay, yeah. But there's good barbecue in Rocky Mount. There is,
absolutely.
Not as good as it used to be when Bob Melton's got washed away, but anyway, we're talking too much about food here. So anyway, Valerie, listen, we hope your campaign goes well. We hope you get lots of money. We hope your brother recovers and lives a long, strong, good, full life. And if we can help you again, let us know.
I certainly appreciate it. I'm thankful for you providing a platform to just get the word out there. We know God is going to do great things through this benefit, and we're very grateful for all the help that we're going to get and all that we've gotten so far.
All right.
Good deal. All right, well, let's go ahead and let you guys get rolling on out of here, and we'll probably run into you at Martinsville.
All right, you guys take care, and I want to thank you for everything, and look forward to having you guys on our truck as well, and come by and say hi and have some barbecue with us.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good night.
Hit the speaker button.
Like that?
Yep.
All right.
He's trained already.
I'm an engineer now.
Who said he wasn't trainable?
You see, that just cost you another meal
That's all right.
because I'm now an engineer.
There you go. Now you've graduated to 2 crab cakes. Is that what it is?
That's 2 crab cakes and a salad bar.
Okay. All right. We also have with us, as we stated earlier, we got Brenden Queen with us, late model driver from out at Langley Speedway. Go ahead and do your short resume. I know you're rather young. How old are you now?
I'm 15. I started racing at the age of around 7 or 8. I ran 3 seasons on dirt go-karts for points. Won 31 races and 3 championships. Then I drove C. Fox Arena car for 1 season. I missed the first 2 races and ended up 3rd to points and got Rookie of the Year. Ran 2 years of Legends. Got a 2nd place in the points at Southside, won the championship at Southside, and a 3rd place in points at Langley in the Legends. And then I moved up to the late models this year, a few top 5s at Langley, and also a bunch of top 10s, ended up 8th in the points and got Rookie of the Year. And then we just got back from Martinsville this past weekend.
Now, what'd you think of Martinsville?
It's fast track, it's a lot of fun.
And you finished?
7th out of 42 that started the race.
Now, didn't you have to do like the Kyle Busch thing? Start from the back here?
I had to cover the back a few times. Raced our way into the race, finishing 8th in the heat race. We started 31st. Came to about, I'd say, 21st, about halfway. Had a radiator hose leak. Had to go back to the rear of the field. Got caught up in something, went a lap down, and came back on the lead lap. Drove all the way back up to the top 10 to get a good top 10 finish out of it. My team did a good job getting everything fixed from the wreck.
Now, who are your sponsors you have on the car?
For Martinsville and overall the whole season, I just got to thank After Hours Fabrication, Larry Nelson for letting me drive his car. I want to thank Atkins Motorsports, Freeland Electric, Bryant Motorsports Auto Sales, Extreme Mechanical, and Extreme Designs. Also congratulate their team on winning the Bando Championship at Langley. Also got Blue Water Motors, West Service Center, Patriot Realty on our car. And I want to thank all my family, because it's a really family budget team. They put their heart and soul into this car. C&R Hughes Farms, Gene Nichols, I gotta thank him. He's done a lot for me. I believe that's about it.
That's plenty.
But a lot of family into it. I can't thank my mom and dad for their sacrifices enough. My family, my grandparents, and both sides of my family for all their support. And it's we're still welcoming as many sponsors as we can get, because you can never have enough.
Oh yeah.
We would like to go travel some more, so anything can help us.
Now, you said at Martinsville you got caught up in something. That's a nice way of saying you wrecked.
Well, they wrecked in front of me.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of log jam, nowhere to go. You know how Martinsville's all tight.
Yeah.
Martinsville wreck is what happened, I guess you could call it.
And do you have bad damage or just a little bit?
Just buckled the hood up and knocked the right front fender off.
Nothing.
You don't need aerodynamics at Martinsville.
No. There was a time back in the good old days when the Daily Press would have had somebody at Martinsville writing about that stuff every day.
Yeah.
And they don't do it any longer. And I did not know until Mike Smith sent me an email Sunday night they even had the race, because there was not a word about it down here.
Huh. Their part or Marty's part? Or he
I am, and I'm not tooting my own horn here, but it's the truth. I am responsible for late models at Martinsville, and I'll tell you why. Back in the day, before any of y'all were born, including you probably,
I don't think
they
so.
ran. Well, maybe not you.
Just
they
turned
ran.
57,
They
so.
ran 500 lap modified races at Martinsville. Then they ran 500 lap late model races, and then they ran them. They ran twin 250s. This is in the mid to late 70s. They ran twin 250s. Same program, modified sportsman doubleheader. And then when late model stock cars began to get really big in the early 80s, I told Clay Earls, Mr. Earls, the late Mr. Earls, I said, you know, you're selling tickets, a few tickets to modified fans, but all the drivers are coming from up in the Northeast. You're selling a few tickets to sportsman drivers who are from around here, and that's great. I said, you've got way more late model stock car teams being built in this area than you've got modifieds or sportsmen combined. I said, you need to shorten your two big races to 200 laps each and add 100 laps to late model stock cars, so you still have 500 laps, but you'd have two twos and a one. And they did that for several years, and then when modifieds kind of priced their way out of business, when sportsmen priced their way out, they added on and gave the late model drivers a standalone race.
Yeah.
Which was the Cardinal, whatever number of laps it used to be.
Yeah, it used to be like
But
Taco
Clay
Bell
Campbell,
300 and
Clay Earls, Mr. Earls, apparently thought I had a good idea. And about 12 years ago, up there, they gave me a little appreciative trophy for being the guy who came up with the idea of late models. You know who won the first late model race at Martinsville? You don't know, but I'll tell you. Mark Martin. And Barry Begley won a bunch of them. Bugs Harefield won. Curtis Markham won. Elton Sawyer won. Phil Warren won.
Yeah.
I think Joe Gator and Mike Buffkin both won. And Ronnie Thomas won. And for a long time, they would give us the results at 5 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock they change them because everybody flunked tech.
Yeah.
But anyway, clearly you didn't flunk tech. You wouldn't have finished 7th.
Also, it was really cool. I found out later that week that I ended up second in the Virginia Triple Crown. I didn't
3 different races.
I didn't run the South Boston race because I didn't intend on running all 3 for it, but I ended up second to Peyton Sellers, who won it. And I can't thank Ryan with After Hours Fabrication enough for turning that car around and giving me a good piece for Martinsville. I really appreciate all Ryan's hard work for After Hours Fabrication.
Good deal.
Had you been there before? Had you seen the place?
Martinsville,
Yeah.
I had never seen it till the test.
Gosh.
That's not bad. You going to do your young race driver speech for him?
No, he's smart enough. He doesn't need to hear it. Either that or he's too young to hear it now. He'll forget about it by the time he's 18.
Yeah.
I'll have to make it all over again. But he's okay. If he can finish 7th at Martinsville his first time there, he doesn't need any speeches from me. And he's not wearing sunglasses, so right off the bat,
yeah. So he's all right.
he's ahead of the game. The short version of the story is, if a reporter or a TV cameraman or a photographer ever wants to come up to you for a shot, take off your sunglasses. Don't talk to a reporter with your sunglasses on. Don't do a TV interview with sunglasses on, because most of us, and I've been doing this a long time, most of us feel like if you got your sunglasses on, you're hiding something, because your eyes are moving.
I can see
But just
that.
take off your sunglasses. Carl Edwards does it. Now, somebody said, what about Richard Petty? I said, listen, when you win 200 races and 7 championships, you can wear your sunglasses too. Because Richard doesn't take his off for anything.
Yeah. So very, very seldom will you see him with them suckers off.
He doesn't take his hat off either.
Yeah.
He does at church on Sunday at the racetrack. But he doesn't take it off any other time. So when you win 7 championships,
Hopefully,
200 cup races, you too can wear sunglasses.
I wouldn't mind winning all those.
You told me you already got how many championships already now?
I think a total of around 5 and a state championship for the Legends too.
So he's doing it on the minor scale, but he's getting something racking up there.
Championships are championships.
Yeah.
You gotta have them.
Wins are wins.
What are you looking like for your schedule in your future? What have you got things you're looking at and planning on?
We're looking to run the Myrtle Beach race coming up in November and the Thanksgiving Classic at Kinley, Southern National. Hopefully, still looking for sponsors, and we'd like to travel around more next season. I don't know our official plan. It depends on sponsors and see where we can go next year. We'd like to get out there and get my name out there more and run different tracks. Hopefully pick up our first late model win. We've been close this year, just not enough yet, but it'll come with time and seat time. We just need to run different tracks and get our name out there and hopefully be at the right spot at the right time.
You going to try to, I know this is still into next year, you're going to try to do the Daytona thing like CE went down and ran?
I would love to do the Battle at the Beach. Hopefully we can get us a sponsor for that race and make the trip down to Florida to run that. That'd be probably one of the big events on my list. I would like to run the Denny Hamlin Showdown too. That would be a really big thing for me. I'd like to hit most of the big races. I'd like to attempt the Triple Crown again or run all 3 next year, see where we end up. That's pretty much the plan so far that I've heard.
And you were late model rookie at Langley this year?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I finished 8th in the points at Langley.
That's pretty good.
My first race there, my first ever late model race debut, it was 150 laps in April. I qualified 3rd and finished 4th. I went 2 laps down and came back to finish 4th. So that was definitely shocked some people.
Okay, that's what the whole thing is. You got to make waves, hopefully good waves.
Well, when you figure who he's racing against,
yeah,
to finish 8th in points is pretty darn good.
Yeah,
you got the Edwards brothers and you got Beluso. Well, he ran late models for a while. Well, but the Edwards boys and
the Falks
and
Nick Smith. We were in the
Nick Smith.
We were up there the top 5 in the points, and we were sitting I think 4th or 5th. And we got caught up in a wreck, and I had to start and park the next twin race, which really took a toll in the points. Mm-hmm. Not being able to run the whole race, getting last place points. So then it was pretty much, I never thought of the championship right off the bat. Being a rookie, I just wanted to get seat time in the car.
Yeah.
And it looked good being up there. But then I learned a lot from that wreck about when to back out and not put yourself in that type of situation, and a lot about patience and, sometimes you have to let the guy go and get back by him later in the race. And that taught me a lot. It's probably one of the best things that could have happened to me, I think.
Yeah, patience seems to be the hardest thing to teach drivers.
You never want to say that a wreck could, you never want to get in a wreck, but I think it really changed me this year and taught me a lot about the car, saving it, and being there at the end instead of just trying to be up there the whole race. And that really helped me out.
Learn the angle of the dangle for when you get in the middle of some of that stuff. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You got to figure out what's the best thing you're going to do that's going to take the least amount of damage to the car.
Exactly.
Now, where are you from? I mean, you live on this side of the water or the other side? Or
I live over Great Bridge, Hickory.
Oh, okay.
So I'm a junior.
Great Bridge Wildcats.
I'm a junior at Hickory.
Oh.
Hickory
no.
Hawks.
Oops.
We're rivals.
Yeah, no. Elton Sawyer and I were always big rivals. I was a Hampton fan. He was a Great Bridge fan. I said, man, you're pulling for the wrong team. You're pulling for.
Hey, Eric, how you doing tonight? Hang on a second. We'll get you on here. Push the flashing light and then push the speaker button. Push the speaker button. Hey, Eric. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you feeling these days?
Well, I feel about as well as a person that's been through what I've been through and feel.
You feel like that old style rag mop that went through the ringers, I take it.
That's a good way to describe it. Definitely have good days and bad days, but as a whole, definitely feel like we're headed in the right direction.
All right. Well, got probably some new listeners out there. Why don't you go and do a short resume so people know where you came from and how you got to where you are?
Well, some days I wonder how I got to where I am. Just everything happened so fast. Grew up watching racing. My family had McClure Motorsports, and never really gave much thought to pursuing it till later in my teen years, and then had to go to college, do all of that, and work my way through college to pay for a race car. And I started racing locally in Southwest Virginia. Ran street stocks for a year, moved up to late models, and during that time started doing some testing for Morgan McClure and running a few ARCA races, and just kind of jumped right into the Nationwide Series, a few Cup races, and then sort of found out that Nationwide was a little bit better fit for us, and here we are 7 years later doing it full time.
Well, good deal. I know you were sick when I was out at Richmond, and I was going to come up to you and give you a hard time about this growth on your face all of a sudden you've been doing.
The growth on my face?
Yeah.
I thought I heard you right. Well, I thought if I looked like Jimmy Johnson, I might drive a little bit more like him.
Okay.
How's that working out?
Not so good. But my wife likes it, and that is the deciding factor. So I guess we'll keep the beard for a while. Not to sound unprofessional, but they call Jimmy Johnson 5-time, and I have 5 kids, so I guess I'm 5-time in that capacity.
There you go.
As close as we get,
Yeah, my wife came up with the same thing, so I've been keeping my beard around too.
There you go.
Eric, how many races did you miss with your recent medical issues?
I missed 4 races. There was some discussion about missing, a few more, getting some thoughts, maybe sitting out the rest of the year. But I did miss the 4th race, then got a fairly clean bill of health, and was able to come back. And hopefully we can finish the rest of the season, keep TriStar in the top 20 in driver points, at least for my car, and that's a big deal to the race team. So from that standpoint, it was important to come back as quickly as possible, but it's definitely not a lot of fun sitting out when your heart's at the racetrack and watching someone drive your stuff.
Now, you got Charlotte this weekend, and is there a race between Charlotte and Texas?
Not for us.
Okay.
We have 2 weeks off, which is odd in the scheduling, the way it works out, but it's great for us. There's 2 weeks off. We can work on this car. This particular car at Charlotte is our best car, so certainly we want to take it to Texas, and that gives us time if we have something go wrong to get it ready. But definitely sets up good for vacation, but no racing for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, so you got Talladega and Martinsville, the 2 off weekends back to back.
Yes.
Okay, that'd be good. By the way, did you hear the big news this afternoon? And this, I think this is either official or I'm going to make it official. Virginia Tech and Tennessee are going to play football. This is a true story. I'm not kidding. UT and Tech are scheduled to play football in 2016 at in the infield at Bristol.
I heard that about 10 minutes ago when
Okay.
the local paper called for a quote.
Yeah.
So it's huge news for Southwest Virginia and Northeast Tennessee. I mean, personally, I'm a UVA fan, so I hope...
I knew that, but I figured the way they've been playing, you might want to kind of keep that quiet.
Well, yeah, you know what? It's character building. I'm still a fan, true and support... support them. It's hard to rebuild a major college program, and
certainly I think over time we'll see Virginia creep back in the right direction. But as far as the football game at the Speedway, it's something that they've tried to do for years, and I know Virginia Tech was all about it, and certainly glad that Tennessee was able to come up and meet them. I mean, obviously they're the two nationally known football programs. They're the two biggest programs in our area, and generally you're on one side or the other. So there'll be a lot of excitement in the next couple of years as they lead up to this game, and certainly hope if my driving days are over at that time, I can attend the game. But definitely respect both programs, their fans, and this is probably one of the biggest things to happen to our area in a long time.
I wish they played on a race night. Have the game going and a race at the same time. That would be fun.
That'd be the first
I don't
time
think
they
that's
got a
going to
full
happen.
stadium.
The thing that worries me, Eric, is a little bit is obviously they've got to take some build. Well, they may not have to take any buildings down after all, but they've obviously got to lay a field, and they can do that almost anywhere. Heck, if they can play basketball on an aircraft carrier, they can play football at Bristol Motor Speedway. And if it attracts the crowd they think it will be by far, by huge numbers, the largest crowd to ever see a football game in America. Because right now, I think the record is maybe 112 or 14,000 at Michigan, and they're talking 160 at Bristol. So it will just smatter the old record just all to heck. So it should be fun.
It will, and it'll be a bull-type atmosphere. The novelty of it, being at a racetrack, the racetrack is well known nationally. The programs are. I think, certainly maybe premature, but you'll see a sellout just from the diehard fans that get tickets on the street market. You'll see a lot of casual fans show up just to see what it's all about. Certainly in that area, so it's going to be exciting. It's going to be great, and certainly there'll be some logistical things, some facility things, as you spoke of, that they'll have to work out, and I'm not privileged to those. But as we've seen before, when Bruce Smith's group gets involved in something, they'll do it. They'll do it in a first-class way, and that'll be secondary to the game, and there won't be any problems. So I'm certainly looking forward to finding out more about it. Hopefully, some of our sponsorship partner friends, such as Food City and some other local people that we've had relationships with, will remember me when it's time to
for tickets, right?
Absolutely.
Box seats, something like that.
You know, I just thought of something. The saddest point about this whole deal is that Jeff Bird won't be able to be there. Now, he'll be watching, but Jeff Bird will not be on the ground, because I'm sure that Jeff Bird talked about this for years. And it's a shame that Jeff died before this became a reality. But he'll be watching. And he's a Wake Forest guy, so you kind of don't know who he'll be pulling for. But it should be fun.
Definitely it will. And I know that the discussion started during his watch, and Jeff was certainly innovative in the way he ran the Speedway and the way he was involved in the community. So definitely going to be exciting, and certainly hope there's a way for us to be a part of it, or at least be there if we're not off racing somewhere.
Eric, we've got a young man in the studio tonight who is a rookie, a late model stock car rookie who finished, I think, 8th in points at Langley Speedway, went to Martinsville last weekend, had never seen the place, qualified for the big show and finished 7th. He's 15 years old. You've been doing this a long time. Give him about 30 seconds of advice on how to be a good race car driver. And he's sitting right here listening, so whatever you tell him, I'm sure will be a whole lot more meaningful than anything I could tell him.
Awesome. What's the name? I think I read something about him, but I want to make sure the name is right.
Brenden Queen.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of people talking about you, Mr. Queen, and that's quite an accomplishment. I went there one time and wasn't able to qualify for the feature, so I'm not sure at 15 years old you know what you accomplished. But as far as the late model world goes, that's something you can be proud of for a lot of years to come. But I would say, no matter what, enjoy this experience first and foremost. I won a lot of races at the local level. Always was focused on what I needed to do to make it to the next level, and I failed to enjoy it to the fullest of my ability. The next thing to do is study the sponsorship side. Learn about your partners, how you can represent them. That's going to carry you every bit as far as your talent will. Everything now is transitioned to corporate sponsorship, so look right, dress right, represent them to the best of your ability, try to meet every need they have, and then at the same time, absorb every lap, every movement of the car, what it does in traffic, what it's like to race side by side every week, because it just gets more exciting a lot faster as you get up there, and you do those things, you have fun, you enjoy every minute of that experience, and a few years from now you'll find yourself up here at the highest levels of NASCAR if you play your cards right.
And do his homework, right? Do his schoolwork. Just stay in school.
I will tell you this. My parents, I wasn't as fortunate as you. I played baseball, went to high school. My parents, my mother was a teacher. My father had a high school education, and they were very fortunate to build their automotive business and their race team. But they were very big on me getting the education first and foremost, and they made me do that. But I will tell you specifically that my education from Emory and Henry College, I don't have enough time to detail, but it played a vital role in Eric McClure landing the Hefty Brands and Reynolds Wrap sponsorship and being able to race for 7 years without winning a race in the Nationwide Series. And your education is going to be a lot more valuable than you think it will be at this time, but to learn everything you can on the racetrack and off the racetrack, and that will help you pave the way to perhaps a career in NASCAR racing.
I think you told me your mom went to Longwood.
She did.
Yeah. My daughter went there. We talked about this maybe 4 or 5 months ago. I mentioned that my daughter had gone to Longwood for undergraduate and had gone to Radford for graduate school. And you said your mom had gone to Longwood back and become a teacher, so we've got a little connection there. Let me ask you one more question very briefly. The NASCAR keeps delaying releasing the Cup and Nationwide schedules. They told us 3 weeks ago we'd have them, I think they said before Dover. Then they told us at Dover we'd have them in time for Kansas. And now they're saying they won't be ready until next week. What do you hear, if anything, about next year's schedule that might be causing this great long delay?
There are always rumors about everything in the garage areas. You hear things. I know our travel group is pulling their hair out trying to guess dates for tracks, and they're able to know if they guessed right by the room blocks or the rates if they try to book a certain weekend, if they got that right. But really, we're not hearing a whole lot. We're certainly their mercy, and we don't know if there's going to be a flop in date. We've heard maybe an additional race to the Nationwide schedule. We don't know if it's a combination weekend that's holding things up. We're really not privileged to that information, and certainly, me being in Virginia during the week, running our promotions business, doing appearances, everything, I generally am late to the garage area, and I'm focused solely on driving the race car by that time, and as small as our team is, they're focused on the race car. So we're generally not out seeking that information or gathering that. So we're as anxious as anyone else to find out what that's going to be, but NASCAR, as thorough as they are, as good as they are at what they do, they're not going to do anything without a reason. They're not going to delay anything unless there's a purpose to it, and they're not going to announce anything unless it's final. So it'll be interesting to see what happens during that time. Certain tracks have already announced their date, so you can kind of see where they fit into the schedule. But as far as the holdup, it's a little bit later this year than normal, but at the end of the day, it's not something that's earth-shattering as far as the race teams. But certainly for the fans, it's important that we get the information as soon as possible to make those plans for next season and to prepare for for the next few months. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But they've promised next week, so I guess we'll all find out on the same day. Well,
I hope so. I do know this. You point out something that I've contacted several motels in cities that have cup races, and their rates on their websites are outrageously high. I just wonder whether they know something we don't know. So it might be that somebody's let some people know yet, but we haven't gotten the full schedule yet. But that's the way things are, I guess.
It is, and I know Emily, my sister, she had her first child a few days ago, and she does this for our race team, and she'll go and I don't want to give away her secrets, but she is really good at what she does, and we're able to get great rates. But certainly, the hotels always seem to know. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, I understand.
It's exciting, and at the end of the day, it's going to provide a couple of extra weeks of excitement, and it's been a pretty exciting few weeks, certainly on the Spring Cup side. So it's a good time for NASCAR right now.
Well, it's exciting on the nationwide side. At one point, it looked like Hornish might run away with it, and now that's come back to be a pretty good deal. So this weekend at Charlotte should be fun, and we'll just see what happens after that.
Certainly the championship race in the Nationwide Series is exciting, and it's fun to be a part of those races. It's a great series. Charlotte, under the lights on Friday night, the temperatures are going to be cool, and the speeds will be fast, and it's coming down to it to see who's going to win the championship. And both of those drivers are very deserving. They're very good individuals. Solid members of the community, great representatives of their organization. So I don't think there's a bad outcome there, but hopefully we can get the SD Ultimate car back in its rightful place up there, racing in the top 15 and top 20, and race with Mike Bliss and our other teammates. We've had a rough couple of weeks, but Charlotte's been a good place for us, and hopefully we can finish the season strong.
Well, I'm certain that NASCAR would not admit this, but I'm sure NASCAR would like Austin Dillon to win a race soon, because they would not like to have, now I'm not saying he's going to be the champion, but I don't think they want to have a winless champion. So they're probably very quietly pulling for Austin Dillon to at least get a win to make the championship not look quite so bad if he happens to win it. So, but they never tell us that, but that's okay.
Eric, we need to get Hefty to step up and put you in a cup car for at least one race out there.
I will tell you to stay tuned. And that's all I'll say right now. But certainly we have a great sponsorship partner with the Hefty and Reynolds Rat brands, and we are planning our program for next season, and it's going to be exciting, and maybe a few surprises in there. So looking forward to it. Looking forward to getting back at it this year, having a little break, and deciding what we're going to do next year. Certainly, there'll be some surprises to my program, and some things I'm really proud of for some other people involved. So look forward to that, and we'll enjoy every bit of it.
Wait, you can tell us. We won't tell nobody.
Surely not.
I want to also thank you for your advice. I really appreciate that.
No problem, sir, and congratulations on the finish, and we'll be watching for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Eric, thanks so much for being on the show. Give our best to your girls basketball team and your wife, and we will stop by and chat with you at Charlotte this weekend.
Looking forward to it. You guys have a great night.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Eric.
Okay, Raj.
Speaker button.
Oh.
There you go. Very good. Very good. You stole my saying of the basketball team.
Oh. Let's go have dinner.
All right. Hopefully we'll catch everybody next week on Let's Talk Racing. Thanks to Brenden for coming out from the other side of the water. Come visit with us.
Thank you for having me.
That's good. And Al put up with you, or you put up with Al
Thank
since he's
you
over
for
there.
putting up with me.
Hey.
My turn. We'll catch everybody next week.
I squash people like you just for fun.
Hey guys, I'm Daytona 500 winner Trevor Bain, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, I'm Robert Richardson Jr., driver of the number 23 Dodge Challenger for R3 Motorsports in the NASCAR Nationwide Series, and you're watching Let's Talk Racing.
I'm Timothy Peters, driver of the number 17 Toyota in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and you're listening to Let's Talk Racing.
driver of the 33 NASCAR Late Model, 2011 Old Dominion Speedway track champion. Thank you for watching Let's Talk Racing TV.
I'm Sam Hunt, drive the 42 car on the thing Let's Talk Racing.
Hi, my name is Natalie Sather. I drive the 94 K&N